Founders, this is Module 3, a series of sprints designed to bring your solution closer to the specific needs of your target market. While many of you will have a strong understanding of what your solution looks like, and some of you may already have some kind of product built, this module will provide models, tools, and practical techniques to test your solution with customers and measure your progress towards the holy grail of product market fit. The structure of the module is similar to the last, with the majority of the sprints driven by your own experimentation, which will be specific to both your business and the progress you've made so far. You'll draw upon a range of technical minimum viable products, or MVP options, to get a product in front of customers and start iterating towards something special. If you're already at the MVP stage or beyond, you'll learn more about the various ways to measure the readiness of your product and select a North Star metric that will become your obsession. Up until now, we've been careful to avoid leaping to the solution stage. As founders, it's both easy and common to become transfixed with the one specific thing you want to build. However, moving too quickly to the solution stage can at worst lead founders to build the wrong thing, or at best obscure some important opportunities for them to learn. To underline this point, let's remind ourselves of the pivot pyramid from Module 2. The first 3 layers of the pyramid talk to the market side of the product market fit equation. At the base of the pyramid is your original insight into your specific problem space. This is the foundation of your work to date and the main focus of Module 1. Then, we searched for a niche market for that problem and asked ourselves how we intended to make money from it. From there on, we moved to Module 2, the stage that the vast majority of first-time founders miss, to answer the question of demand. Were people ready to pay for our solution, and could we find a growth channel to reach large numbers of our target niche? Now we arrive towards the top of our pyramid to look more intensely at the intended solution. This graphic is, of course, overly simplistic. Experimentation will certainly continue across your growth efforts, as well as your product development, but it helps for us to create a sequence and know when to intensify focus on the next stage. Now we're going to hear from Siddhi Mittal, co-founder of Why Hungry, a private chef company in the UK, on the spirit of product market fit and some of the best ways to test it.
Let's start by saying that it will be hard to get through a conversation with a potential investor or partner without them interrogating you on your product market fit. The original and simplest definition of product market fit is provided by Mark Andreessen, the US venture capitalist and founder, who coined the term in a 2007 blog post titled, "The Only Thing That Matters." Put simply, product market fit means being in a good market with a product that can satisfy that market. He then delves deeper. You can always feel product market fit when it's happening. The customers are buying the product just as fast as you can make it, or usage is growing just as fast as you can add more servers. Money from customers is piling up in your company checking account. You're hiring sales and customer support staff as fast as you can. Reporters are calling because they've heard about your hot new thing and they want to talk to you about it. Some of this might sound a little way off, but product market fit is the critical milestone of this phase of your business lifecycle. Referring back to the pivot pyramid that you have seen in the last module, let's zoom in on the solution stage. We are going to build on a model developed by Dan Olson, author of the Lean Product Playbook. Olson discusses the product side of the product market fit equation as being made up of 3 components. Number 1, value proposition. That's the specific underserved need you plan to address. Number 2, feature set. A feature set includes the specific ways you plan to meet those needs. Number 3, user experience or UX, meaning the overall feeling a user benefits from when using your product. Your value proposition is a short, sharp statement of intent, a description of the needs you're looking to address for your customer niche. This is the basis of your product strategy because at this stage, you should be ruling customer needs in or out, which will underline your competitive positioning. You will have a version of your value proposition on your lean canvas, and hopefully, it will have evolved since the first version. Olson develops a really simple framework to help you sharpen your value proposition. Ultimately, you should evaluate your customers' specific needs according to how important they are and how well served they are by existing solutions. This will produce a quadrant of needs that are both highly important to your customers and also underserved by existing market players or methods. Your value proposition is at the very heart of what makes your solution so unique. So try to ensure that your value proposition majors on the needs placed in the upper left-hand quadrant. The next step in the solution stage is to get in depth on how you will address these underserved needs. This is through a combination of your product feature set and user experience. The most common misstep from founders at this stage, particularly for digital product founders, is to flood their product with features. The early versions of your product need to communicate to your uniqueness. So resist the temptation to add nice-to-have features that fall outside of the scope of your value proposition. A useful guide to help you understand where to put your early focus is given by the Kano model. The Kano model is an analysis first published in 1984 by Dr. Noriaki Kano, a professor of quality management at the Tokyo University of Science. Dr. Kano developed an approach to thinking about building customer loyalty, which challenged the conventions of the day, where most companies selected new features either in responses to customer complaints or by focusing on their most popular features. Kano conducted hundreds of interviews and landed on a short list of categories that summarized customers' emotional responses to the product features. The model maps 3 different response categories on a chart. This includes must-haves, performance features, and delighters. The vertical axis shows customer satisfaction, and the horizontal axis shows the effort in delivering an increasingly sophisticated version of the feature. Must-have features are the prerequisites for your product category that are essential and expected by your customers. An example here of a physical product could be the zip on a backpack. You might have developed the best zip mechanism in the world, but that effort will not drive up customer satisfaction relative to your effort. For digital founders, this could be the password reset feature, noticeable by its absence, but once you have one that works well, it's unlikely to get your customers talking about you. Next up are the performance features. Here, we see a much more uniform correlation between effort and customer satisfaction. A good example here could be the miles per charge in an electric car or the number of users permitted for a B2B messaging tool. The more value you add, the greater the satisfaction. Finally, we have delighter features. This is the feature category that should dominate your messaging above the fold of your landing page. These features may well have come from your customer interviews, technical innovation, or in-depth customer research, and represent features that will disproportionately thrill your users in relation to the efforts made. For physical products, consider how electronics companies attempt to develop different handle mechanisms to open refrigerator doors. Or a nice example of a digital delighter is the rapid swipe mechanism on a dating app. Your product will comprise all 3 feature types, But for the final two categories, you will have to become very clear on which you choose to focus. As mentioned, these features will address underserved needs and will be the key areas of differentiation from your competitors. To speak plainly, you cannot afford to outperform existing solutions across every need category. You will have to make tough choices about what you bias your time towards. Dan Olson has a useful approach to understanding where to apply your focus using a competitor comparison table. Set out all of the key needs you seek to address in the left-hand column of a table. Next, based on your customer interviews and insights, define a specific category for each need. Either must have, performance, or delighter. Next, choose your top competitors. Start with 3, and you can go further if necessary. If your product doesn't have a clear commercial competitor, ask yourself how people are currently solving the problem. Take, for example, a new piece of technology that aggregates risks around international travel destinations into a mobile app. Whilst there might not be anything available that offers the same service, how are people currently solving that problem? Your initial competition might be international foreign office websites that could manually be scanned. Following that, assess each competitor against each need. Objectivity is key here. Whilst you might not love your immediate competitors, it's vital that you do a good job of assessing the degree to which your competitors address the need, even if it's not exactly the same way you would choose to address it. Use a numerical score on a 5-point scale, with 5 representing the need being totally addressed. As your chart fills out, you should start to see gaps emerge. Hopefully, some of those gaps will appear against needs that you know are particularly intense for your target customers. This exercise aims to give you a 360-degree view of your immediate competition. It should also shine a light on the specific opportunities for a clear value proposition and feature differentiation. As we turn back to the concept of product market fit, your objective is to define a core feature set of the few areas in your product that will outperform immediate competitors, and then those 1 or 2 knock your socks off delighters. Instagram provides a nice example here. Instagram entered the picture sharing market at a relatively mature stage, but chose its key differentiating features carefully, which enabled the company to find product market fit and thrive. Instagram's niche centered around the range of filters it offered that helped users share beautiful images of their life with their friends. This is a classic delighter feature, which defines Instagram's uniqueness. But beyond that, the Instagram team had chosen a few additional users' needs against which the app could outperform its immediate competitors. The development team built a neat UX feature which gave the impression of rapid image upload speed, which was a key performance need for users. This feature was driven by a key insight. The vast majority of pictures added to the app would go on to be published, so the app began the upload process in the background as soon as the image was added, rather than once the image was published. This gave users an immediate positive impression of speed. The final need that Instagram majored in was the browsing experience. From the outset, the vision for the app was that it would provide beautiful pictures in a single uniform feed. This led to a compromise. Any pictures added would be cropped to fit a square aspect ratio. This would cause frustration for keen photographers with a range of landscape and portrait pictures. Still, for Instagram's target customer niche, a single uniform browsing experience with an endless scroll was much more important. What initially appeared like a compromise became a vital delighter feature, which also had a critical habit-forming effect on its users. An endless scroll of pictures designed to fit a mobile feed. So, A good step for founders at any stage of the process is to first, draw on your insights to understand needs that are important to your target customers. Second, consider which needs provide the opportunity for enhanced performance or user delight. Third, compare the feature set with your key competitors to understand where your product can really stand out. One Day has developed a wide range of videos to help you understand options to develop an MVP and observe how your customers interact with your solution. This can include a low-fidelity sketch, a press release to discuss headline feature ideas with your customers, sophisticated 3D model of your physical product, an operational version of your digital product built with a no-code tool. Even if you have started your product build or have a product that you're already selling, the technical MVP options provide novel ways to test new features or solution pivot ideas. The critical starting point here is your risky assumptions template. You should use the MVP options to stress test your important uncertain assumptions. This will likely mean building a proxy version of your product solely for the purpose of learning. While this may feel counterintuitive, remember that the MVP is disposable for early stage founders. It is a vehicle to increase certainty about what your customers want. Challenge yourself to spend as little effort as possible to acquire the learning you need to progress. If you are unsure which features to elevate to the main menu of your app, then you don't need a functioning app. Sketch out a few options and get them in front of your customers for feedback. Or build out a clickable prototype on a design tool like Figma. How you develop an early version of your product depends on the kinds of risky assumptions you're looking to test. Here are 4 categories of risk you might focus on and what questions you should ask yourself accordingly. Functionality. What functionality matters most to my users? Is this feature or product technically feasible? User experience. Can I get my users to perform X function? Can I communicate complexity through my design? User interface design. Do users love the look of my product or packaging? Does my product stand out from the competitors? Smell or taste or feel. Do users like the smell or taste or feel of my product? Now, with that, you're ready to build your first of many technical MVPs. Best of luck.
So founders, our focus now shifts from the critical challenge of product market fit. This is not a destination in itself. It's a status that can be achieved and one that you will have to work hard to retain. Work through the different MVP types and consider what you would pay to know about the shape and feature set of your solution. If you've already made significant progress with your solution, then use what you've learned today to stress test the specific needs you have decided to address using the importance and satisfaction matrix. Analyze your feature set and that of your competitors using the Kano model. Consider whether you can use an MVP type to more leanly test your next feature or iteration assumption. If you're at an earlier stage with your solution, use your value proposition to define your product strategy. Be ruthless in ruling needs and features in or out. Be forensic in identifying underserved needs. You should have a strikingly clear view of the ways your product stands apart from your competitors. Explore the full range of technical MVP types. Be ready to use different approaches to address different questions. Lean on your risky assumptions to drive your next step and be as minimal as possible in addressing each uncertainty. Now, Get going on your journey to product market fit.